Today, we're digging into a really unusual website called Ruling Spear. Now, at first glance, it just looks like a personal blog, a massive archive of family photos, career stuff, that kind of thing. But if you look a little closer, you realize it's something else entirely. It's a digital testimony where every single link, every photo is there for one very specific reason. So right off the bat, you're hit with that name, Ruling Spear. It's pretty evocative, a little mysterious, and it makes you ask, what exactly is a ruling spear? And that's not just a random catchy title, it's actually the key to unlocking the whole purpose of the site.
Because when you first land on the page, it's almost overwhelming. There are just dozens and dozens of links to personal stuff. We're talking wedding photos, high school reunions, family vacations, work seminars, the kids' graduation. It's like an entire life has been digitized and put on display for everyone to see.
And it's really easy to get lost clicking through all these photo albums. But the real story, the reason all of this even exists, well, it's not in the pictures themselves. It's actually hidden in the one piece of information that ties all it together, the author's name. And here's the kicker. The site just comes right out and tells us. The author's name is Jerry. And, as he explains on the site, Jerry is a Germanic name. It comes from Ger, which means spear, and Wald, which means rule. You put those together, and what do you get? Rule of the spear, or, yep, Ruling Spear. The website is literally named after him.
But this is way more than just a clever pun. The author is using his own identity, his own name, as a kind of bridge. He's connecting his personal story to a much bigger, universal message. His name is the front door to what this website is really all about.
So what is that bigger message? Well, he states it directly with a quote from the Bible, from 1 Timothy. The central idea is this divine desire for everyone to be saved and to know the truth. This is the why behind the entire project.
Okay, so if that's the goal, what's the motivation? I mean, why this desire for salvation? The site doesn't just throw this belief at you, it actually builds a case for it piece by piece.
And the answer it gives, pulled from another biblical quote, this time from Romans, is love. It presents this act of sacrifice as the ultimate demonstration of that love, a love that's offered completely unconditionally.
So, to put it simply, the logic presented here is that this powerful, unconditional love is the main engine behind that desire for salvation. It's the foundational belief that pretty much supports everything else you see on the site. But it's not all just philosophy. The website doesn't just stop at explaining the belief. It actually gives you a clear path for what to do next. It's not just about understanding the message, but about engaging with it personally. So the site offers what it calls a suggested prayer. But let's just break it down into the 4 actions it's proposing. First, you acknowledge and thank. Second, you receive and welcome. Third, you surrender control. And finally, you accept the gift. It's a structured process, moving you from recognition all the way to reception. Okay, so this brings us right back to our original question. You've got this deep theological message on one side and this huge, sprawling personal archive on the other. So how do they connect? What does one have to do with the other? Well, the connection is made right here, with another quote, this time from Proverbs. This is presented as the guiding principle for how to live. Trust and listen. And this philosophy becomes the frame through which every single life event, big or small, is presented. And this slide just illustrates that perfectly. I mean, look at the sheer range here. You've got our wedding day and family travels right next to a seminar on shantytown transformation in China. High school memories are sitting alongside photos of the Family Christian Fellowship. Every single category, from the deeply personal to the professional, is cataloged as part of this one guided journey. So in the end, Ruling Spear is so much more than just a clever play on the author's name. It's the central organizing principle for his entire documented life. The whole website becomes a testimony, arguing that a life lived by these principles is a life that's kept on track. The personal archive becomes the proof for the theological claim. And that leaves us with a really big question, doesn't it? How does what we believe on a deep, personal level actually shape the story we tell about ourselves online? This site is a fascinating, one-of-a-kind example of how a belief system can become the actual architecture for a digital identity, turning a simple photo album into a very public declaration of faith.